Hello, hello, hello. Hi, everyone. Happy Wednesday night, and thanks for coming back for another Wednesday night solo stream. Let me know who's here, if you're ready to write, what you're working on, and we will get down to it. Hello, hello, Sayla. Hi, popping in to hit the like button. Thank you. Um, Malin shouldn't be awake still, but hi. Go to bed. You've I release you now that you've said hello and popped into the stream. You're free from your obligations and you can go sleep now. But thank you for coming as always. And hi, Michael, and hi, Miley. Oh, Miley, there you are. Hi, Miley. And hi, Joy. Thank you guys for coming. I'm working on stopping my TikTok scrolling and sleeping. Okay, no more scrolling. Go to bed. I'm telling you with all the love from a friend, no more scrolling. You're done for the night. Hi, Ash. Thanks for coming. Thank you, guys. Let me know what we're going to be working on tonight. I'm really excited to write tonight. We are finishing Hera's book this week, no matter what. I'm really, really close. And the deal is that I am going on a big trip next week and it needs to be done before I go on the trip. Like, I just cannot have it go on any longer. It needs to be done before I go. And to make sure that that happens, we're streaming tonight. I may indeed stream Thursday, Friday, one of those days, or both of those days. I'm not sure. We'll see how tonight goes. And then I'm definitely streaming on Sunday with Stieg because we both have books to finish. And so I would love to time it just right so that we can finish our books together on Sunday. But I do have some work to do if we want that to happen. But I'm really excited. I'm feeling really, really positive about Hera's book lately. I've been spending the past couple of days working on my playlist, which has been really fun. I've kind of been neglecting the playlist up until this point. But I don't know, something about just the past couple few days have been really into it and just doing the ruminating and the mulling, sorts of things. And that has helped me feel really excited about the book. And I've thought a lot about how I'm going to revise this book and all the stuff that's missing that I want to add to it. um, but it's gotten me really excited to, see this draft through to the end so that we can move on to doing all of that fun stuff. So I'm really excited to write tonight. Joy is working on a zero draft slash first draft. It's a bit of a hybrid of a new fantasy project, and I'm almost 10K words in. Wow, nice job, Joy. It's so exciting to start something new. I love that new project feeling, and getting 10K words in is really awesome. I'm sure, starting to feel like a real draft now that you're that far into it. Hey, Charlie Ray, going to be editing a video. What's the video about? Let me be nosy. Oh my gosh. Let me be nosy. Let me know. Um, Woo, Tara's book. Yes. Thank you, Ash. Excited for you to finish. I just finished a first draft last week and now throwing myself into revisions draft 2, so would love to watch others in the same boat. Oh my gosh. Well, let me say the most hearty congratulations for finishing your first draft. And kudos to you for turning right around and getting right back on draft 2. That is awesome. I don't know if you're under a really tight deadline or a time that you're trying to hit, but big kudos for that because I'm sure I would. I'm planning on taking some time off after I get to the end of this draft, that's for sure. The video is just a tips video for how to find time for writing when you're busy. Sounds like a video that I could use. That sounds really helpful. That is the eternal struggle, isn't it? Miley's going to be D&D planning. That's so fun, Miley. What is the encounter that you're planning? This is the fairy tales campaign, if I remember correctly. I would love to know what the encounter is. It's a fun feeling to be starting a new draft for sure. It's keeping me occupied while I wait to revise Project Phoenix. Oh, fun. Love having two projects going on the same at the same time. Um, Very fun. I think we need that like new project energy to refresh us every once in a while. Hey, Madeline, welcome. Thanks for being here. Prompt word. Okay. So for anyone who is new, who hasn't been with me before, on the Wednesday night stream of the month, Michael oftentimes will offer to write us a poem. So Michael's going to write us a poem that we'll hopefully read by the end of the stream if all goes well. So let me think what our word should be. Hi, Tia, and hi, Katie. Hi, friends. We're thinking of our prompt word. I'm trying to think of, let me open my draft and see if I can find a good word in the scene that I'm working on. I'm writing my final battle. I've been writing it forever, it feels like. I've split my final battle into a couple of parts, but y'all, I'm on the last part of my final battle. I'm so excited. Okay. Ooh, here's a good word. Scales is your word, Michael. Scales. And you can take that in whatever way you wish, be that musical scales or dragon scales. Up to you. That's my word. I hope that's a good one. Correct. We are heading through a fairy portal to the Fey realm, need to hunt down a missing kid and avoid Wonderland. I'm going to do everything I can to tempt them into Wonderland. Yeah. Yes, sounds very DM coded indeed. Thank you. Yeah, I'm really excited. If I can count like on my fingers here how much I have left to do, I have this one final battle scene left, probably like one scene of denouement, honestly. Like when I'm on my zero drafts, the endings barely exist. We barely tie anything up. It's just like, well, and we're done. That'll be next draft Anna's problem to flesh out the denouement. I'll probably just write one scene of like, yay, the day is saved. So relieved. Everything worked out. Um, so I've got to do those two scenes. And then there's one scene back a couple chapters ago that I skipped that I need to go back and write. So that's my to-do list from between now and Sunday. I think we can do it. Hi, Devesha. How are you? What are you working on? Um, so excited. Thank you all so much for joining me. It's so much better when I have company because then I know accountability's on. We got it right. So without any further ado, I'm gonna get us into a sprint. I was thinking about doing just some 30 minutes tonight, if that's okay with you guys. I had a little tracker here in my bullet journal for my April goal, which didn't end up happening. And all the stickers fly out as they always do. See all my boxes. These are all 30-minute boxes, and I'm not close to filling out all my boxes. But hey, it's the last day of April. We can still get a couple of them, right? So let me get my 30 minutes up here. I'm going to do a 30-minute seaside timer from Malin. Oh my gosh. Hi, Stu, and hi, Elena. How are you guys? Katie said, I just plotted out the end of the book and I have 15 chapters left, along with one chapter I haven't touched like so long ago, but it's fine. I feel that. And that's so exciting. I wish you could finish with us on Sunday. I don't know if that's possible. 15 chapters is a lot, but even if you finish sometime next week, I still feel like we finished together. And that's so fun. That's so exciting. So, with that being said, let's be productive. Here's our first sprint. Good luck, everybody. everybody. Good work. How was your first sprint? How did we do? I did pretty well, all things considered. Um, how many words did I get? I got 528 words. Not bad. I felt like I was really, really dragging my feet on that one. So I'm pretty pleased with the 500. Yeah. These final battle scenes just are taking me really long. I'm really going slow. I don't like writing action. I find it really, really hard trying to come up with, every little choreography moment, and trying to think of like new things that my characters can do. So it's definitely a test of my writing ability, I feel. But let me know how you did. I'm really pleased that we're one sprint down. I'm going to fill in my box right now because I want the satisfaction of filling in another 30-minute box. I'm just so easy to please. I'm easy to motivate. I just need a sticker or a box to fill in or like a thing to cross off, and I'm happy. Um, Hello, Kayla. Thanks for joining us. I hope you got some good work done during that sprint. Katie said, as far as finishing this week, oh God, it's not possible. Move my deadline a little to May 15th. And I think that sounds much more reasonable. And I'm proud of you for giving yourself a little extra time. That sounds much more helpful, I think. Miley, this really made me laugh, your private discussion with yourself. Just looked at my session plan checklist and suddenly I do not want to do that. But the sesh is Sunday. What if I wrote in the fun Western fantasy instead, though? An interesting proposal. What do you think? And I'm really glad that you decided to write in the Western as a treat because it sounds so fun. And Sunday is, it's so many days from now. I say as the person who needs to finish her book on Sunday. There's so many days from now. You're good. You're so good. You should, though, and I agree. I agree. Listen, if you put your private discussion in the chat, I will read it out loud. I'm sorry. Them's the rules. I did not write. I did not plan. I did not do it, Sam I am, but I did tweak some mood boards. That counts. I think it counts. You're shifting gears from session planning into writing the Western, right? Just a little transition activity. Michael made some progress on the poem, which is awesome. I'm excited to read it as always. Charlie said, I'm doing a rough cut, and it is indeed rough the way I ramble on when the camera's on. Thank goodness for editing software. I feel this. Yeah, part of the reason why I didn't get all of my dilly darn boxes full this month was because I posted a video. And that video took a lot of editing, so I definitely relate to this. My first rough cut was over an hour, and I got it all the way down to 36 minutes, but oh my gosh, it took several passes of just cleaning to get it down to what I felt like was a reasonable amount. So I honestly put a lot more time into that than I was planning. But them's the way it is. Everything is a balance. Hi, Amber, popping in to say hi. Probably will watch the replay, making such good progress on book one. Hope you are well. Oh, thank you, Amber. Thanks for coming. It's good to see you. And I hope that the replay is good to you whenever you have time to sit down and work on your project. And hopefully I'll catch you next month for sure. Madeline said, legit just been puttering around lost in my Word docs. And I think this counts. I've been doing this a lot lately where I'm just kind of puttering through my dabble and I'm not like necessarily adding words, but I'm kind of realizing how long this book has become. I'm in the mid 70s now and it's like, oh, hey, this is a real draft. I really thought this draft was going to be short and it kind of ended up just as long as all my other drafts. And so I just, now that I'm close to the end, I find myself just kind of, picking a chapter and just reading and just having that experience of just reading through this thing that I made. I think that's part of it. I think that's part of it. Katie, how long have you been writing book two? Because I feel like it hasn't been that long. I agree. It has felt very fast. Lost in the Docks is so real. And Susan joined us. Hello, Susan. Katie fed the dogs and ordered food. Nice work. My first draft I started in November and then called at the end of March. That's very good. Started draft two on March 20th, and I should finish on May 15th, God willing. And yes, I think this is extremely quick. But I've also been thinking about this book since like May 2022, so it's been in my head for so much longer. And that's a fair point. That's a big advantage, for sure. Hello, bottled water. Welcome. Happy Wednesday. Damn, maybe I really don't write fast enough for TradPub. I certainly do not. I'm right there with you, Tia. I've had the slowest writing year I've had yet. I started Hare's book in June, and babes, it's May. So this draft took me almost a full year, and that is it's still not sitting great with me, but it is what it is. I'm still proud of myself for finishing it, for getting to the end. And I can say that I, wrote another book this year. And that's all that I want, is just to keep finishing books. So trying not to put a value judgment on on it too much. And honestly, the past couple of weeks I've been feeling way, way more excited about this draft, to the point where I hope I can revise it a lot quicker. And that, we always have a capacity to do things differently in the future. Um, damn. And I agree. And JK is here. Hi, everyone. How are you all? And what are you working on? Hi, JK. Thanks for being with us. It's Thursday. Oh, please forgive me. Happy Thursday. Hello from the future and hello from the past. This is so exciting. Um, I love that. I love that. Um, I'm a chronically quick writer and also too ambitious, and also I'm privileged enough to be a full-time writer and have been since the beginning of 2021. Yeah, important distinctions. But you are very ambitious. With all those caveats, you are still very ambitious and determined. Taking a year to finish is better than not finishing at all. Exactly. Exactly. Thank you, Susan. And thank you, Tia. And thank you, JK. We're getting really close. We're getting really close. Um, yeah, yeah, just so no one feels bad about writing slow. And I'm not even the quickest writer ever. And I feel like I'm slow at times compared to how much I want to write. Yeah, that's the piece that really matters, right? Is not slow compared to others, but slow compared to how much I want to accomplish. Isn't that always the rub, right? It's just slow compared to my own expectations of myself, be they healthy or no. Um, Bottled water just finished my work emails, so I'll be moving into dishes. Oh, sorry, bottled water, but nothing lasts forever. The work emails, you'll reach the end at some point, and the dishes, the sink will be empty at some point. But good for you for getting through both of those tough things. They are my least favorite things too. Project Sugar and Spice is 5 years in the making, but I know it'll be worth it when I self-publish the book later this year. Exciting. That's so exciting that 2025 is going to be your year, JK. Oh my gosh. I know that's going to feel so rewarding after this journey. And I'm very excited for you. Preach it. Another caveat is that I'm writing contemporary romance, which is much easier for me to write quickly. I'd be so much slower if working on my fantasy books and trad pubbing the fantasy books. That's interesting that that you feel the contemporary comes a lot quicker. I have never written a contemporary, but this makes me really interested in how it would affect my writing speed. That's interesting because I'm such an underwriter that I feel like I do not give myself the time or space to world build until I'm in between drafts 1 and 2, because that's when I'm like, okay, I think I know what I want to figure out now. I think I know what I have to build and what's actually going to get used in the book. Um, and so I really don't take the time world building that I should. um, I wonder if the extensions for fantasy are longer. Oh, that's a good question. Probably depends on the individual writer and the project, right? And the how far you got. Um, because I would not be able to do this in 3 to 6 months. Yeah. As I've as I've proven to myself many times. 3 to 6 months is not enough time for me, at least not right now. Me over here writing contemporary romance full time and still being slow. No, don't. Remember, we just discussed this. We're not comparing ourselves to each other. We're still writing and we're still finishing things, and that's all that matters. I did have a question for us in the chat. I'm going to scroll past Miley's discussion with herself. And I just wanted to know, back on the positive, how do you celebrate reaching the end of a draft? Because I am about to be here at this milestone. I'm about to cross this finish line. It's been a long time since I finished a book, and I want to feel the serotonin. I want to feel the dopamine. And so I was curious how you all take a moment to celebrate. I think previously what I've done is gone out to get special donuts and get like a half dozen of special donuts the morning after and a big fat iced coffee, of course. Um, I think that's probably what I've done in the past. Miley said, I've only finished like 2 drafts, both short stories, so I have no idea how I'll celebrate finishing Coast of Bone. But so far, I've rewarded myself with dance parties and karaoke nights. Miley, you sound like such a fun person. I would love to go to karaoke with you. That's such a great idea to just like really let loose and have fun and get away from a screen, take a computer break. That's kind of what I'm most excited about. Um, Good question. I need everyone's suggestions because I am bad at celebrating my wins, as my therapist always tells me. I think, oh, here's a big one. I actually have a ring that I didn't buy it for myself. I was going to, but my sister bought it for me before I could buy it for myself because she knew I was eyeballing it. I bought a ring when I finished a draft of Project Gemstone because jewelry is a big theme in that book. Jewelry is like Poppy's passion. She's an artificer. And there was a ring, and the name of the ring was like the London ring or something, and it had topaz in it. And I always associate that color with Poppy. And so when I saw that ring, I was like, oh my God, I have to get this ring. And I used that as a reward for finishing my draft. And then my sister bought it for me. So, you don't have to put a lot of money into a piece of jewelry, but I think jewelry is a really nice memento. And how cool if, years and years from now, decades from now, my jewelry collection, if each piece also signified an accomplishment like that. Like all my drafts, I had rings in my collection. That's so fun. I really love something like the tangibility of that. My real answer is that I get to start writing and brainstorming a new project. Fair enough. I get McDonald's. That's a good one. Yes, I love that. Tell my friends. Absolutely. Absolutely. You should tell your friends. Oh no, I've never celebrated finishing a draft or even a whole book. Still, we are turning over a new leaf. The next time you finish, we are celebrating, and you have to tell the whole Discord, tell everybody so we can throw virtual confetti. Joy said, I'm frankly horrible at celebrating my achievements, but thankfully, people around me, like my husband and mom, have gotten me iced coffee, special treats. And yeah, I agree. Important to let the people around you know that you just did something, Let them celebrate you. I've never finished a draft quite like this, so I don't know. That's okay. You'll find something. I've never reached the end of a draft, but I'm hoping this is the year. I just have to stick with it and get through that dreaded middle. And I think it would be gold. If I do, I'll celebrate with a trip. That's fun, Charlie. And I'm cheering for you. The middle is so hard, but you can do it. You can do it. I promise. It's downhill from there. It's so doable. Katie gave me 3 Jot approves, which was a great reward. Good, well deserved. Would also love to do karaoke with Miles. Yes. Hold up, Coast of Bones also goes so hard as a project title. Yes. Thank you, Madeline. It so does. It's really evocative. It really makes me picture a really like desolate, spooky place. And I hope that, lines up with the vibes, but it's very intriguing. I usually celebrate with junk food. I may have been getting too much junk food lately and or a new book on my Kindle, but once I finish revisions for this book, remind me to bake a cake afterwards. Oh, I love the idea of baking a cake, especially for your book. That's so fitting. Pause to celebrate? What's that? That is what we are changing here tonight. Oh, this is a great idea, Tia, getting character art made. I love that idea. That's so exciting. I wish we could do karaoke like virtually somehow. But I'm not even brave enough to do karaoke in person, so doing it like virtually, I definitely would chicken out. I'm sorry to say. Yeah, exactly. Treble Troop karaoke when? All right, let me see. Honestly, once I'm done with second draft, that's a little more polished. I want to celebrate by printing a book from Barnes and Noble. That's another really good idea, Joy. The print copies are so rewarding to me. Like that is a big part of my process too, to like also because it forces me to pause, right? I have to wait. I've not done Barnes and Noble, so I don't know how long it takes. But Lulu, where I get my print copies, it takes like 2 weeks to get to me. And so that has been my rest period, Usually I'm so excited I send it off immediately as soon as I'm done. And then that 2 weeks of waiting for the print copy is when I'm forced to like exhale and not look at the words for 2 weeks. And that's helpful. It'll be so fun for sure. For sure. My family found it to be a bigger deal than me, so just sharing with others was nice. And they had cookies delivered to my apartment. That's so nice, Ash. That's so nice. My reward for finishing my first ever book was finally starting an AuthorTube channel, so it really was the best reward. That's dilly darn cute. That's really cute. That's really nice. Remind me to bake a dessert that I showcase in Project Sugar and Spice. Yes, you should definitely pick one of the recipes from the book, JK. That would be so fitting. So fitting. The Coast of Bone is a city on one of the fairy islands in the sky, so less desolate and more white cliffs with colorful buildings. That totally works. That totally works. I love it. So, like, good imagery. I don't have good words right now, but you have good imagery. Uh, Thank you, JK. Yes, everyone, please, if you haven't already, take a minute and please take a look at Backhanded Compliments, which is Katie's book coming out almost next month, June 10th, I think it is. And we're so excited for her. So if you haven't had a chance to check it out yet, please do. Absolutely. Alrighty. Well, thank you guys so much. I got so many good reminders about stuff to do when I finish this draft. So thank you. I really appreciated that. Very uplifting, very cheerful, and I'm even more excited now to get my donuts, get my print copy. Maybe pick out a piece of jewelry. We'll see. But otherwise, I think we are overdue for another sprint. So let me pull back our timer. We're going to do 30 minutes again. And we'll just get down to it little by little. Okay, here we go, guys. Second sprint. Good luck. Alrighty, guys. That was the end of our sprint. How did we do? I was a little more distracted on that one. But I think I got about 200 words, and I'm just going slow, trying to decide how this action scene is going to go. But I just can't wait to be done with it. I just want to have my first worst version out of the way so badly. Like, I would love to finish it on our next sprint. And like the thought of going to bed and having this massive final battle done. Oh my God, that would be so exciting. Because I've tried to have a lot of I've tried to split it up into phases so that the battle feels long and drawn out and hard and like something like a night that really needs to be survived, if you know what I mean. And I thought a lot about like how when I read the Battle of Hogwarts for the first time, like how that really felt like you felt each hour of the night going by because it had those different phases and the breaks in the action, um, and different things happening. And so I've tried to kind of replicate that in my own final battle here. But I am very ready for the sun to rise and get to the end. So we'll see how we do in the next sprint. Um, but let me know how that was for you. I know we had a lot of chatter about the Discord. So, yes, if anyone's not in the Troublemakers Discord and you want to, click the link, come be fun and crazy and chaotic with us. We'd love to have anyone and everyone, absolutely. And I know I think I saw a bunch of you that made it in, and so that's awesome. um, I think Madeline, I think I saw you made it in, so that's good. If there was a robot test, I'm glad you made it past. um, Trying again when my internet stops threatening to abandon me in the Twilight Zone. Gotta catch them all. That's right, Miley. We have to convert anyone and everyone that we come across. 100% more distracted if that was even possible. I feel that. The first like 10 minutes of that sprint, I really just didn't want to get back into it. That was the struggle to kind of turn my attention back. Yeah, action scenes are not my favorite. I could write like one-on-one dialogue all day long till the cows come home. And I often have to like cut those scenes in revision because I just go on far too long. Um, but the action scenes, no thank you. No thanks. Thank you, Katie. No words written, just ate dinner and found some new artists to commission, which is very exciting. On the topic of character art, was completely distracted, just trying to catch up on this new Discord. No problem. I know there's a lot in there to explore. Definitely check out the calendar. Definitely check out the information desk for information on all the different channels. Definitely check out the promotional board. That's where we post new videos and new live streams that are going up. And the cafe is just for, all of our chaotic chatter. So those are the basics. 339 words for Susan, so close to 14K for the month, and 15K was my goal. Nice job, Susan. That is fantastic. Nice job. 14K is absolutely well done. Katie ate dinner and started a new chapter, so there isn't a blank page tomorrow. Nice. I love that for you. Good job getting rid of the blank page. The end is in reach. You'll feel so good after. I know, I know. I have to think about what this little like closing scene is going to be. This is my toxic trait. I never know how to end books. I never have my final image. Never have my final line. I'm always just wanting to like Irish goodbye out of my own books. So I will have to think about that because that's what I'm going to write on Sunday when I'm streaming with Steeg. So I really need to think about this because they're really not that far away at all. Lots of moving pieces. It's hard to do, but oh, it's satisfying to read. Yes, I really hope so. I hope because this battle has been foreshadowed literally since page one of the book. So I really wanted it to feel like something that we were going to sit in and really live and experience and not just something that would go by in one chapter and have it feel like too easy. So I really wanted it to feel momentous. Only wrote one sentence. We are doing great. That's okay. I know we were a little distracted. Maybe that was just everyone's distraction sprint and it's out of the way. We got it out of our systems. Michael said, not going to lie, I think I need to just listen in and keep on with the poem through the chat. No problem. You do that. I promise we will keep chatting and give you time. Man, I am so the opposite. I hate writing dialogue. Like, give me a setting or a monster encounter. Miley, I am writing a monster encounter as we speak, and I'm hating it. It's so hard. I would love if we could just switch and you could just write this for me. Um, Tell me anything and everything. All your ideas about, oh, I don't know, giant sea serpents, for instance. I don't know. Help a girl out. Charlie finally cut out all the pauses in my video, and now I've got to go back and make it make sense. Oh, I feel that. That's another toxic trait of mine is I leave a ton of ums in my videos because I just can't be bothered. I just take out the worst ones and then I'm like, sorry, y'all. It is what it is. My brain, the processing speed is only so fast. And Charlie's the same dialogue feels so awkward to write. Let's switch because I'm in a dialogue heavy family fight and I'm cringing at the clunkiness of it. Oh my gosh, that's so funny because clunky is all that I feel right now. And arguments and family fights sounds so fun, so tense. Um, I would love to switch. It sounds great. So funny. Just goes to show like the grass is always greener, right? Um, but if anyone has any thoughts on this, I also was curious to poll the chat, get your good ideas, because I am always kind of developing my like revision checklist, as it were. I have a list of things that I like to do in between drafts before I let myself start the second draft. There's some stuff that I want to get done. Um, One of them, for example, is to read a craft book. And it doesn't like totally matter which one, but I'm going to pick a new one to read before I start my next draft of Hare's book. And I really want it to be a character focused craft book. I'm definitely going to go back and look at the craft book discussions that Stieg and Malin have had to pick my book. But that always helps me do like a lot of passive brainstorming. So it doesn't feel like I'm sitting down, you know, with the intention of doing that focus work, but it just kind of comes about organically when I read craft books. So that's one thing that's on my list. As I mentioned before, I have a lot of world building that needs to happen. I'm probably going to re-outline and spend a lot of time, probably the bulk of my time, on a refocused outline for sure. There's a lot of stuff that I want to add to the beginning of this book, kind of in the world building vein. Um, so I'm really excited to do that. And I also like to revisit my character profiles, or what would you call it? I do like Lizelle Samberry's character breakdown. Um, I know she's got a video on it that I plug all the time, but it's something I like to come back to. And it's just, really firming up their arc. And I know my characters are so cardboard in draft one. And I want to think carefully about their arcs before I go into draft two. So that's kind of what I think about in between draft one and draft two. But I'd love to know what you guys think. Is there anything in particular. I love this idea, Susan. Short fiction, drawbles, flasher short stories. Good point. This sounds very refreshing indeed, and a nice mental break. Religiously do a reverse outline that is thick with every plot point, every emotion, how it all flows together. And that helps me define what the second draft will look like and how I'll dev edit. Absolutely. Yes, I really want to nail this time. um, this sounds like exactly what I need to do with the outline. Between drafts, make 1,000 checklists, agonize over feedback, dabble in whatever is the current fun project to take my mind off the horror of revision. And that's so fair. But valid. As Susan said, taking time to, dabble in other fun projects is really important I think, into not, leaning into burnout. You meant work related to the whip. I usually outline before revising. That's fair. I think both are totally valid. Both are totally valid. I think this might be changing because I just have less time to do a lot of revisions because, my editor is like, please give me your book. Thanks. Ah, it's so stressful. I'm not gonna lie, I just got like a full body wave of like heebie-jeebies thinking about an editor waiting for me to send them a draft. Oh, man. Yeah, not having the time to do a careful reverse outline sounds hard. You kind of have to work on your feet and work on the fly, sounds like a little bit, or just reinvent the process a little bit. Bottled water said, I just don't take breaks between drafts. I'm too obsessive. Don't come for me. It works. That's so fair. If it's working, it's working. Don't knock it till you try it, I'm a pantser, and since I've never finished a draft, I don't know firsthand. But I think I'd probably work through any notes I'd take and potentially nail down world building things and add depth to my character sketches. Yeah, I think you're right on, Charlie. This aligns with what I'm hoping to do for sure. On the other hand, Michael takes time away from the project, and for me, that's the most important work of all. I've thought about going back and making an actual outline between draft 1 and 2. Yeah, I think that's when my outline is going to get really solid because I do have many pantser bones in my body that just cannot be eradicated, and I have to pants mostly to figure out what it is that I'm trying to do. And then we outline. Sorry for the heebie-jeebies. I know I also feel them because what do you mean she doesn't get to see it as perfect as I can make draft? We'll see how it goes. Oh, I know. But she's not expecting perfect, I'm sure she's worked whatever you're going to send her, Katie, I'm sure she has worked with way rougher and way more tenuous plots and characters. So, I'm sure everything that you're feeling is totally normal. I'm the same way. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you guys. Yeah. I think I definitely will take at least a little bit of time off. And that's partly why I want to finish this before the big trip that I'm going on next week, because then that's like, again, that built in time where I literally can't write because I'm not home and I'm going to be traipsing across the United Kingdom very happily. So forced break. And I'm really looking forward to it. And yeah, I think hopefully that was everybody. So we are, oh, and your trip will hopefully refill your well too and give you inspiration for new stories and old. Yes, I would love that. I would absolutely love that if it inspired a new story. I'm one of those people who does not often get hit with story ideas. So um, I would absolutely welcome that with open arms. And going back to one of my very favorite places of all time, which is Scotland. And, what better place to think about fantasy novels than Scotland? It just really gives fantasy vibes. Like I said this to Luke a lot when we were there on our honeymoon. Um, but a lot of the times when we were in the Highlands, the fog would be covering the tops of the mountains, and it just gave off dragon nest vibes. Like everywhere we went in the Highlands, I could totally just picture a dragon just sailing up over the horizon and diving back down, and it wouldn't even be weird at all. It would be like, yep, that checks out. So I'm super, super excited to go back there. Praying to the muses, absolutely. Recently went to London and got a story idea on the tube. It was definitely inspiring. Awesome. You're going to have to tell us all the good places to hit up. I mean, I definitely will, but we know a lot of UKers already. We have some London natives in the community, so I'm sure they'll have lots of recommendations too. My friend and I are going to Scotland in August, and I'm so ready. That is awesome, Madeline. August is going to be so beautiful. I would love to go in the summer. Last time I went, I was there in fall, late fall, in late October, and now I'm going in early May. So I'm getting the spring and the fall vibes. Yeah, it was super, super magical. An Anna approved itinerary for Edinburgh. Let's see. What do I remember? I mean, just walking around, it's so magical and it's so compact too. Luke and I are huge foodies. Like our hobby, honestly, is just eating, going to restaurants and trying cocktail bars and desserts. And we literally love everything under the sun. And I felt like I could spend my whole life in Edinburgh and never get to eat everywhere that I wanted to because it was just packed with like hole in the wall restaurants and magical places. Um, and Miley said that's how I felt in the redwood forest. I was waiting for a fairy to pop out from behind a tree. Nature is so magical. Ooh, the redwoods does, now that you say it, totally unlocks the same vibe. Absolutely would not be surprised to see a little supernatural element in the redwoods and in a lot of the national parks, honestly. Now I need word from someone who lives in the South and knows what my taste buds would like. I know. I really, really enjoyed everything we ate in Scotland. I know sometimes British food gets a bad rap. And when I went to London in my early 20s, I definitely did not eat well, but we ate well this past time we went to Scotland. I love Cullen skink, which is like their salmon chowder. I'm a New Englander, so chowder is like love it. Love clam chowder, love corn chowder, and so the Cullen skink I was all about. That was absolutely fantastic. um, but I will definitely be taking travel notes to bring back for sure. Alrighty, everybody. We do have one more sprint left on the docket, so I hope you have enough energy left for one more. God, I love a chowder. Exactly. Is there nothing more like heartwarming and just soul-filling than like a really, really good bowl of chowder? I think not. I think not. All right, I'm glad you guys are down. This is going to be our last sprint of the night, and we are going to do our last sprint tradition. So if you haven't been with me before, our last sprint tradition, please, if you would like, you can share either one good thing that happened to you this week, or you can share a line from your whip. And this is just a really fun way to end the night on a really fun moment of gratitude, or we can give you some snaps for a really great line that you want to share. So I hope you guys will be thinking about that on our last sprint. Do do do. Okay, guys, here we go. Good luck, and I'll see you on the other side. Alrighty, everyone. Good work. That is the end of our sprint. Our third and last sprint of the night. How did we do? Let me know. I was really immersed in my scene just then. But that went well. We are up to almost 1,200 words for the night, so I'm really, really pleased. We got such a good chunk done on this scene, and I'm so relieved. I've got all the way up now, pretty much to the point of just, you know, making the final killing blow in this monster fight. So, uh, and I have a really fun idea for that. So I think I've set myself up well to hopefully finish this battle scene tomorrow if I can. We'll see. I might, depending on how I feel, I might stream again tomorrow and or Friday and or both tomorrow and Friday. We'll see. I just really, really want to make sure I don't flake out on actually finishing the book this week. So yes, I'm pretty pleased. Pretty pleased. 1,200 words in is pretty good. So let me know how that went for you. Adam joined us. Hello. It is the tail end, but I'm glad you could make it at the end of your busy day. Katie wrote 918 this stream and only have 495 left to hit my 4K for the day, which is insane considering how bad I felt all day. Oh, I'm so sorry you were having a rough day, Katie, but it sounds like you made the most of it and you turned it around, and that's not an easy thing to do. So I'm so, so proud of you. Good job. Good job. Day well done. Um, Poem incoming from Michael, so we'll stand by for that. Charlie deleted all the silences and I've started making it make sense. It's going to be a lot of work, but I'll get it done. I believe in you. You made a lot of great progress just for 3 30-minute sprints because I know video editing, whew, the time can just fly when you're doing a video edit. It's so time intensive. So you're doing a great job. Dishes done and lunch in the works. Good job, bottled water. Congrats, Katie. Woohoo. JK was able to complete some of the changes my developmental editor suggested I make to the manuscript during our meeting earlier today. That's cool. That's really cool that you get to work on them one-on-one and have meetings. That's really interesting. How often do you meet? And like, how long have you been working with them? That's so fun. Thank you, friends. I wouldn't have been able to do without y'all and your encouragement. That's right. That's what we're here for. Considering how busy I was today, I'm happy with the progress I made. That's right. We're just here to celebrate the small wins. Was able to organize a bunch of plot notes and get hyped to write through some scenes tomorrow. Awesome. Good job, Madeline. That's always a really good feeling when you feel like you're in a good place for the next writing session and you're excited to sit down and get to it. That's kind of how I felt today because I was listening to my writing playlist while I was on a walk earlier today and I was like, yeah, we got this. We can do it. um, oh, sorry. Did I miss? Sorry, JK. Let me know if I'm hoping this was the part that you were talking about, but I am scrolling back up to talk about our answers as well. I think, Miley, your comments are also coming in out of order, so I'm going to try and do my best, but I think these are your lines, which I'm very excited about. So let's get to that. Let's scroll back up. Because as always, our last sprint tradition, you guys know, share a line from your whip or share one good thing that happened to you this week. This is my favorite part of hanging out with you guys every month. And I think I have a few lines highlighted that I'm going to read from my draft. So again, it's rough. These are first passes, but um, let me find it here from my battle scene. All right, so here are my lines. I see a braid of midnight hair whip past. Thea, the knight slows and turns in her saddle, lifting her visor briefly so I can see her eyes of ice. You're supposed to be in the castle, I shout stupidly. I can't see her mouth, but somehow I know she's smiling, that cool, unbothered smile. She merely flips down her visor in answer and canters off, a bow steadied expertly in her hands. If I still wondered what side the princess was on, this was my answer. So there are my lines. Um, as for Katie, my good thing of the week is that I really worked hard and wrote 31,375 words in book two. I'm so much closer to the finish line. I literally can see it, aka I mapped out the final acts chapters and I know where I'm going theoretically. Thank God. Holy shit, Katie, this is crazy. Like, this is absolutely crazy pants. 31,000 words in the week. Oh my gosh. I know you were working off of a previous pass at these scenes sometimes, but I know there's a lot of new scenes in there too, and this is absolutely round of applause. You committed to the bit. And I'm so glad that you're feeling that relief and feeling that pat on the back because holy shit, that's crazy. JK said my good thing of the week is that I'm getting close to 200 followers on my Ko-Fi page that acts as my author newsletter. And getting engagement for my newsletter has been tricky, but I'm happy that I'm slowly building momentum, and that is awesome. Good job plugging away. That is so fantastic. Let me see what everybody else did. Okay, here are Miley's lines. I'm so excited. The best place to find what you're looking for is just outside of the sun's reach. So naturally, I look for the tracks of a devil and my dragon in the shade of the plateau, where the red sand has a chance to be a step below scorching for a few hours while the sun runs around the rocks. Nice. Yes. Really great description. What's it like being able to write really nice description on your first pass? Because that could never be me. I really like that. I look for the tracks of a devil and my dragon. Ooh. Ooh, say more. More. Starts with I was able. Yes, okay, we got there. Um This is probably really dumb, but what do the little wrenches next to some people's names mean? That's not dumb at all. No problem. They're just um, moderators, so this isn't really like relevant to me on my tiny channel here because it's just me and 13 closest friends, but it's really a good idea on larger channels to have comment mods so that if something crazy was to happen, if we were to get like a bot or something, they can help me take care of booting those people out, basically. Or if we get a bad faith actor that needs to get put in timeout, they can help me out with that. It's just a little bit of backup, and they have the ability to post links. So it just means that I trust them not to bring the chaos too much. So thank you, Katie and JK and Devisha. Um, Thank you guys for being here and being my backup. Okay, because I saw Sinners and now have Vampire Brain Rot. I am so excited. No spoilers. I'm seeing it this weekend. But I, just in general, I'm so glad that vampires are coming back. Thank you, Katie. That was a character, the knight who was on the horse. That was a character I literally just found. She popped out into being 3 scenes ago, so I need to go back and, like, put her in the whole book. But that's just on me being an underwriter. Yes, love a woman in armor. Yes, me too. Me too. That is a big part of Hera's book for sure. Charlie said, since I don't have my whip pulled up, my good things that happened to me this week was that I found 3 four-leaf clovers, to add to my clover collection. That is a really good sign of something to come, I think, Charlie. That's really a good omen. 3 clovers. Holy moly. Uh, Xavier shook his head, resolute in his decision, unaware of the potential storm that would come his way. Ooh. I love a character that's resolute in their decision. Like, that's really giving me, like, either stubbornness or righteousness, and I think both of those things are really interesting in characters. It is insane. Why do y'all think I'm literally insane? It is crazy. Some lines from Devasia. Blood, Sheridan turns up her nose. How archaic. Efren rolls his eyes. Sherry here has her code, he says, with over-gesticulated air quotes. The chair's front legs fall from their hoisted position as he leans forward. She scienced away her natural urges, only drinks that god-awful concoction Tessa makes. He's out of his seat faster than Malcolm could process. Me, on the other hand, taking 2 swift steps forward, Efren lifts Malcolm's wrist to his lips, kissing gently with elongated teeth. Well, I'm a man of tradition. Ah! Okay, lines. Okay, lines. That was so fantastic. Oh my gosh, I'm so here for the vampire brain rot. I'm on board. What more can I say? Oh gosh, the vampires really just like never get old to me. My good thing for this week is that I had day off on Tuesday, so I used it to finish draft 2, part 2, and send it off to betas. Nice job. That's a great use of a day off, and congrats on that milestone. Sending stuff off feels really good and exciting to me, at least. um, yes, Smiley, hold a master class. That was beautiful. Sinners is another Coogler masterpiece. It was also my first trip to the cinema this year, saving my money for special occasions. Nice. Well, I'm really glad to hear that you enjoyed it and it lived up to your expectations. I've really heard like nothing but good things about it. I have a hidden talent. My sister is also someone who finds four-leaf clovers. And I just think that's so interesting that, she comes across them so easily. It's like she's just finding something normal. Meanwhile, like I've only ever found one, and it was when I was in her presence. So I think you two have a magic touch. um, it's a little bit of both for him, but that'll be his downfall. Not gonna say how though. You'll find out in the book. I love it. I love that he has both the stubbornness and the righteousness because that combo is just really good. Shut the hell up, Demisha. Get that book in my hands right now. Slowly being sold on vampires? What do you mean slowly? Get on board. Get on board. I am now headcanoning Efren as Michael B. Jordan because, ooh, did he look good in those three-piece suits? I'm excited. I'm very excited. I think it'll be good. Um, awesome. All right. I hope that I got to everybody. I know I had to skip around a little bit. But last but certainly not least, we need to read our poem of the night, which, as you guys know, was based on a prompt that we gave Michael at the beginning of the stream. I picked a word from my draft, which was scales. And so Michael has kindly offered to write us a poem off the cuff. So let's read that. All right, here we go. The Dragon of the Missing Sun. O dragon of the missing sun, O dragon of the gales, O dragon of your many names, O one of orange scales. Your fire can turn all the snow upon a hillock side into a melted downward flood, and not by any tide. Your flames when cast to sky can cause the very stars their pain. When turned towards the soundest ground, they rend the earth in twain. Yet, dragon of your powers great, you have a fatal flaw. Your fire draws from mortal breath, and time is every law. You have your 1,000 years to live, but then you will be gone, and next the sun that you've spared, unseen by you until dawn. O dragon of the missing sun, do heed each wisely sage. When words are written so in verse, they pass from age to age. If you would grant me but a scale of orange and sublime, I will as poet write your songs in meter and in rhyme. And then, O mortal one of flame, will you as come to be, the dragon of the missing sun for immortality. Well done. Well done. Oh my gosh, love it. I love, oh, as always, but especially in this one, Michael, how the mythic quality of your writing is so fun and immersive. And I love how, yeah, it reads like a myth. And I especially love the twist at the end of trading, immortality through myth and legend for a dragon scale. Like making a deal with a dragon or a trade with a dragon is a really fun trope. I love that you used that. That's so fun. I especially love the melting, like the image of melting all the snow when the dragon goes past the mountain. That's so good. I could really feel how hot this freaking dragon is. Yeah, for real. Snaps for real. Yes, always a banger. Always a banger. Nice work, Michael. A trade, immortality and stories, a dragon. This is literally my perfect poem. I know, it's so good. I always feel like your poems, like are the opening to a grand epic fantasy. Like they are the epigraph or the first pages of this mythic story that's to come after. Um, so well done. Thank you, Michael. And the dragon poem reminded me that I had this comment pinned and I wanted to come back to it. Miley, thank you so much for these little prompts because I used them and I put them in my scene. Sea serpent, how much is it squeezing people to death? How rank is its fish breath? How many razor sharp fins does it have? Girl, I just straight up stole those, so I hope you're okay with that. And thank you for lending me your brain for that moment. It was really, really helpful. Thank you. Thanks for team working that with me. I really needed it. I needed the push. But yeah, thank you, Miley. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, everyone who came and hang out and gave me, great answers to our questions. It was so fun chatting with you all and getting updates on your projects and where you're at and what you're doing and working on. I always love hanging out with you guys on the last Wednesday of the month. It's something I seriously look forward to and always brightens my day. So thank you. I'm also just super happy with the writing I got done tonight. So thank you for the accountability. Thank you for the lovely chats and productive sprints. I love you so much, friends. Mwah! We'll definitely see all of you in the Discord. That link is somewhere way up in the chat if you didn't get it. Thank you everyone for sharing. Lovely as always. Yeah, always here to hold you accountable. See you tomorrow. Wink wink. Yeah, I think that probably should happen. As far as that, yeah, keep your eyes up for some pop-up streams the next couple of days. I am very seriously considering that, and I will definitely have a stream on Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern. That's going to be with me and Stieg on my channel because Stieg is also in the same position writing his final battle and going to write the end of his freaking book. And so I'm so excited that we've kind of been in lockstep with each other the past couple of months as we're working through the like awful muddy middle and then the like long act 3. And so I think it's just so fun that it's timing out where we could both finish our books this weekend. So I hope you'll keep an eye out for that. And anything else in May? I mean, hopefully I'll post a video at some point. I don't know what about yet. We'll just have to see what the muses come up with on my trip. We'll see. I'm hoping maybe I could rope Malin into shooting like a really short, goofy something with me. We'll see. And then we will definitely have a Lazy Gang stream in May as well. That's going to be on Malin's channel. So I hope you all keep your eyes out for that. But thank you so, so much for joining me. I know I'll see you around in the chat in other streams very soon. But thank you so much for being here. Just keep writing. Um, yes, Demisha, we did talk about this, but I think it is just too crazy. We can't give her the idea. We can't. Yeah, don't even joke about that. My heart just went pitter patter and in a bad way. um, yeah, no worries. No worries. Good night, pals. Good to see you too. Good night, besties. All right, y'all. I'm gonna pull the plug. See you around. Bye.